Man United target Bremer has pact with Juventus. The 27-year-old could leave the Italian side as soon as this summer, despite renewing his deal last year. Gleison Bremer has a pact to leave Juventus in the upcoming transfer window, according to Fabrizio Romano. Manchester United are among the clubs interested in Bremer, who could be available for as low as £46 million. Erik ten Hag's future at Man United is uncertain as the club plans to make a decision after the FA Cup final. Manchester United target and Juventus defender Gleison Bremer has a pact with the club that would allow the Brazilian to leave this summer, journalist Fabrizio Romano has told Gizmosport. The 27-year-old is one of the candidates to join United in the upcoming transfer window as the club seeks reinforcements in defence after recording the worst finish in the Premier League in the club's history. The Red Devils are in the market for a centre-back and keep tabs on Bremer, who could be available for around £46 to £51 million this summer. A consistent performer for Juventus, Bremer has been a key factor in the club's return to the top four in Serie A and lifted the Italian Cup earlier this month. The Brazilian only renewed his deal with the club last summer until 2028, but could leave in the next few months as top European clubs, including Man United, are interested. Man United appreciate Bremer amid transfer links. The Red Devils also have other centre-back targets. Man United have several candidates to sign at centre-back and Bremer, labelled as a monster by journalist Ben Mattinson, is one of them, Romano has told Gizmosport. For Bremer, he is one of several names on the list for a new centre-back, not the only one. We know about Branthwaite, we know about Todibo, so there are several candidates for that position. Bremer is one of them. Man United appreciate the player, they've been following his excellent performances in Serie A and also his release clause is going to be valid next year, around €55 to €60 million. But there is a pact between Juventus and Bremer to allow the player to leave this summer in case there is that kind of proposal. Juventus still have to be consulted, so let's see what happens. Man United have suffered from an injury crisis this season as key players Lisandro Martinez, Luke Shaw, and Rafael Varane have all struggled to stay fit throughout the campaign. Bremer's addition could be a sign of positive things to come as the Brazilian has appeared in all Juventus Serie A matches this season bar one when he was suspended for yellow cards. Bremer joined Juventus from rivals Torino in 2022 and has become a key player since. However, the Italian side is now looking to bring overall costs down and could let the defender leave this summer. Ten Hag faces uncertain future at Man United. Ineos are currently undertaking a review of the 2023-24 season before Man United move forward with new signings. Decision is set to be made on manager Erik ten Hag's future at the club. Earlier this month, Gianluca Di Marzio reported that the club was ready to part ways with the Dutch manager after the FA Cup final whatever the result, with United going on to win the trophy. A slump in the club's form this season has raised questions over ten Hag's work as Man United finished 8th in the Premier League and failed to secure European football for next season. Man United considering move for Atletico forward Joao Felix. Mason Greenwood is set to depart Manchester United in the summer and the Red Devils have been offered a swap deal. Manchester United may offload Mason Greenwood in a swap deal with Atletico Madrid for Joao Felix. Greenwood excelled on loan at Getafe, attracting interest from clubs across Europe. Atletico have offered Felix to United to facilitate a transfer, but he may be cautious due to a lack of Champions League prospect. Manchester United are looking at possible ways to offload Mason Greenwood in the summer, with the former Red Devils prodigy having endured a decent loan campaign at La Liga outfit Getafe last season, and that could come in the form of Atletico Madrid, who have taken an interest. But the Red Devils may not receive a fee for his services if they agree to Atletico's terms on a deal, with Diego Simeone's men offering Portuguese star Joao Felix in return for the Englishman. Greenwood hasn't played for United since January 2022, with the Red Devils having suspended him following his arrest on suspicion of rape, sexual assault, and threats to kill. Having spent a season out of the game, Greenwood spent this season on loan at Getafe where he scored 10 goals in 36 games as they finished 12th in the table, and that has seen interest flood in from across Europe, with the Daily Star suggesting that Atletico are prepared to bring him to the Wanda Metropolitano. Mason Greenwood and Joao Felix, transfer latest. United could make a deal that sees Greenwood leave for Felix. The report states that United are considering a swap deal that would bring Felix to the club and see Greenwood depart back to the Spanish capital. Atletico are one of a number of clubs interested in securing his services, with Napoli being previously linked with a move to bring the Bradford-born forward to the Bay of Naples. And, with Felix having spent the last 2 seasons on loan at Chelsea and Barcelona, Atletico could look to end his nightmare in Spain by offering him to the Red Devils in a shock swap deal. The Daily Star understands that Atletico have offered Felix to United in the hope that a deal to bring Greenwood to the club can go ahead, though United are considering whether Felix would be the right fit at Old Trafford, as he is likely to prefer a move to a club that would be able to offer him the chance to play in the Champions League. United have decided to get rid of Greenwood on a permanent deal given that he is entering the final 12 months of his contract in the Northwest, and having won Getafe's Player of the Season award, he's shown that he can cut it in La Liga, which has seemingly tempted Atletico to make a move. Losing Joao Felix would be a huge failure for Atletico. The Portugal star hasn't kicked on in Madrid. United had reportedly set a £40 million fee for Greenwood earlier in the window, and with clubs interested, they could well bring in a fee around that for their academy graduate. But for Atletico, parting ways with Felix would certainly be a bittersweet moment given his history with the club. He joined as the 4th most expensive footballer in the world for a fee of around £113 million back in 2019, with a lot of potential, but life in the Spanish capital hasn't been overly kind to him, despite being called incredibly talented earlier in his career. Just 25 league goals in 96 La Liga games for the Benfica graduate saw his highest scoring campaign in the top flight sit at just 8 in the 2021-22 season, and should they swap him for Greenwood, who has an estimated tag of £40 million? It represents a lot of money wasted on a signing that strictly speaking wasn't entirely in the mould of Simeone. Felix had a reported £307 million release clause inserted into his deal at Atletico, and so losing him on such a cheap fee will feel like a failure at the Wanda Metropolitano. Man United enter race to sign Joshua Zirkzee. Bologna forward Joshua Zirkzee is a target for the Red Devils this summer. Manchester United are interested in signing Bologna forward Joshua Zirkzee this summer. Zirkzee says his focus is on Bologna amidst transfer rumours, as United seek backup for Rasmus Højlund. Man United's summer clear-out is underway, with as many as 10 players likely to depart ahead of the new season. Manchester United are interested in signing Bologna forward Joshua Zirkzee this summer, according to Gazzetta dello Sport. The Red Devils face competition from Arsenal, AC Milan, and Juventus for the 23-year-old signature, the Italian outlet reports. Zirkzee was instrumental for Thiago Motta's side last season as Bologna finished 5th in Serie A and qualified for the Champions League thanks to a new competition format. The Dutch striker registered 16 goal contributions in Serie A this season and became a key player for Bologna after coming off the bench the previous year. Zirkzee, who signed for the Italian side in 2022, is now tipped for another career move and reportedly has a release clause of £34 million that can be activated this summer. As Man United look for another striker to provide backup for Rasmus Højlund, Zirkzee is rumoured to be on the shortlist. Man United could hold advantage in Zirkzee race. The Red Devils are in a better financial situation than other suitors. Man United reportedly face competition for Zirkzee's signature this summer from Arsenal, Juventus, and AC Milan. However, Gazzetta dello Sport reports that both English clubs are in a better financial situation and could have the upper hand. The Dutch striker, who recently responded to transfer rumours, saying "My head is only in Bologna," is one to watch this summer. United's pursuit of Zirkzee comes after the Red Devils struggled in front of goal last season, scoring 57 goals in 38 matches in the Premier League. The 23-year-old Dutchman, who journalist Ben Mattinson says is "so similar to Harry Kane and is an insane athlete," still has plenty of room for improvement and could provide competition for Højlund, who signed from Atalanta last year. The Denmark international is currently the only senior centre-forward at the club, following Anthony Martial's exit on a free transfer this week. Both Højlund and Martial were unable to avoid injury problems last campaign, while manager Erik ten Hag had to rely on captain Bruno Fernandes in attack, who, at times, played as a false nine. Man United summer clear-out underway. Sir Jim Ratcliffe could axe as many as 10 players. As many as 10 players could leave Manchester United this summer, as the Red Devils have already started their clear-out ahead of the new campaign. Raphael Varane, Anthony Martial, and Alvaro Fernandez have all announced their departures recently, while veterans Johnny Evans and Tom Heaton are also likely to go following contract expiry. The Red Devils could also sell out of favour stars Jadon Sancho, Donny van der Beek, and Mason Greenwood in the upcoming transfer window. Youngsters Hannibal Mejbri and Facundo Pellistri are rumoured to leave too, as Ineos look to raise funds for new signings. Midfielder Casemiro has also been linked with a departure as Saudi Pro League clubs show interest in the Brazilian. Manchester United confident on Michael Olise and Jared Branthwaite deals as price tags revealed. Manchester United are confident they can sign Crystal Palace attacker Michael Olise and Everton defender Jared Branthwaite, TalkSport understands. The Red Devils are plotting their first signings of the Sir Jim Ratcliffe era when the summer transfer window opens on June 1. 4.it is thought the Eagles want at least £60 million for Olise, while Branthwaite could be available for as little as £40 million. Olise scored 10 Premier League goals last season, making him the third highest scorer at Palace behind Jean-Philippe Mateta, 19, and fellow rising star Eberechi, 11. Branthwaite, meanwhile, has emerged as one of the best young defenders in the Premier League and recently earned a place in Gareth Southgate's provisional England squad for Euro 2024. It is understood Everton's ongoing financial issues mean the 21-year-old could be available for a cut price fee. United will prioritise signing a centre-back following the departure of Raphael Varane, with Johnny Evans also likely to leave. It is still not clear whether Erik ten Hag will be in charge next season, despite the club's shock 2-1 FA Cup final win over rivals Manchester City. Everton defender Ashley Young recently admitted Branthwaite is ready to play at a higher level. "I think he's ready for the step up," Young said during his appearance on TalkSport Drive last week. "Obviously there's interest from other clubs who have finished in the top half of the table, and rightly so, because I know what kind of player he is and where he can get to. If it's not with Everton, I can see him with a team that can offer him Champions League football. He's definitely a player that can play in the Champions League and the big tournaments." Man United are expected to play in the Europa League next season, following their FA Cup win. TalkSport host Mark Goldbridge believes signings like Olise and Branthwaite would help Ratcliffe get the club back to playing Champions League football and pushing for more trophies next season. When asked to name 3 players he thinks his club should sign this summer, Goldbridge said, "I think there's more than 3. My first 3, well, we know Varane is going, so we've got to bring a centre-back in. I do like Jared Branthwaite. But I do like the idea of Jean-Claire Todibo from Nice. Obviously Ineos, Man United's new co-owners, also own them, and I think he'd be reasonably priced and he'd adapt well in the Premier League. He's got pace and ability on the ball, so that would be a natural replacement. I don't know if right wing is crying out as a position for Manchester United, but creativity certainly is. Michael Olise of Crystal Palace would be a player that we've been scouting for a long time. He's got a release clause, and some creativity out wide would be. Man United have been crying out for that. That's traditionally what Man United have always been about as well, wingers who create instead wingers who shoot." Meanwhile, teammate James Tarkowski believes Branthwaite won't let the interest go to his head. "It doesn't bother him," he said speaking earlier this month. "I've met his parents briefly once, but I imagine the way they brought him up, he's a very cool, calm, relaxed lad. He just enjoys playing football and playing really well. It's a joy to play next to him."